Hello. Good evening, everybody. Back with another watch list. This time, tomorrow is September 17th. I just walked in the door and getting back here to review this evening. Few trades to go over, and I haven't done any scans yet, so we will be going through the process together this evening. So I will start off with a review from the trades from today. We'll pull up my FinViz scans in a few, and any tickers you guys want to touch on, review, or watch into tomorrow, feel free to drop those in the chat. So without further ado, let's start with Lou. Locked in about a quarter. Locked in about a quarter of this one here in pre-market. According to plan, with Koulimagi's strategy is you lock it in a piece, like a third to a quarter or something, 3 or 4 days as it's working, and then trail the rest. So I move my stop up to these dip lows, have locked in about 1R on that quarter, and if it pulls back below 214s, I will stop, and if this starts to higher low and trend back, then I will continue to hold and let that trade work. So locked in a little bit there. Wolf was the only loser today. Rather frustrating how it played out. Exactly what I wanted. Gap to gap to gap. Gap up. Morning shove. Was trading it rather fine. Plan on it was this little 310s breakdown, and we got it here off the open, but it swiped back up a couple minutes later. So I covered. Was less than a 1R loss. Was just looking for it to fail and confirm a few times before really scaling in. And then I shorted the straight up spike up into that 330 daily level. This looking left here where all the volume was. Right there. So I reacted to that straight up move, went just 3 to 330 in 2 minutes, 10% move. So I shorted risk on highs and stopped out. So then I thought, okay, now it's over the highs. I don't have any more resistance levels to use. Those were the pre-market levels. Those were the daily levels. So I don't know how high this is going to go. If it could still go another day. So I let it do its thing. It blew out, pulled back, hard crack, lower highs, failed fall through here under these 320s. VWAP fails. So I short with high day risk. And then we top out at this lower high, so I add and move risk to those lower highs. It starts to wick, absorb off of VWAP. So my covers were good. It ended up breaking the highs a day anyways. Did have some volume associated with that high day break. And then it got that failed fall through here late day, or midday, I should say. And I'm typically off desk right through here. And then midday got the actual Baka share roll that I was looking for. So rather frustrating, taking a couple losses, lost about 2.5R across those 3 trades, and for it to see work perfectly by later in the day is just a bit frustrating. But other than that, I had Atch, nailed this one. We got the red move. Didn't get the gap up, but we did get the pullback here into 7 a.m. So I'm shorting into those 8 a.m. pops as I typically do. Starter, same thing I did on air. Starter into the VWAP ramp. Wait for it to top out and give me a risk level to use. So I start to scale in slowly using 1. And then as I add, I'm moving risk to these bounce highs in the 90s. And then we get some sped up panic action. So I cover about half. And looking to rescale here, it swipes up, looking for it to stay heavy. And it's still, like the 4 EMA is still in the 60s. So I felt like this still had room lower, and I still think it does. So even though this was a hard sell, if it stays heavy, everybody dip buying this is now underwater, and the faster downticks come after those fast downticks. But it swiped right back, so I covered the entire position and moved on. And better lucky than good, but it came all the way back to new highs and actually went green before fizzling out. So I will keep this one on watch. If this loses 80s tomorrow, I think we do get that 4 EMA test, but I am currently flat on that position. Made about 3R on that one. And then OPI was the big one, about 4.5R on this one. Was the same setup, going gap to gap to gap, and we got the gap up and failed follow through. Hard crack, lower highs, squeezes out prematurely into the open. We get the volume shove, hard cracks. I'm leaning into lower highs, using high a day as a guide. Add through a low a day break, get a little bit more than 1R off of highs, and then this add going back to these bounce highs, and then let that trade work until we get the exact same reversal where it's going lower highs, all through here, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and then right here we get a higher low and then a swipe candle, and then it holds higher lows. So this is a trend change, and covered the rest of that one when it gave me a reason to cover. So between ATCH and OPI, really nice day. Unfortunately, Wolf hit the bottom line, being up probably about 7R, maybe 8R on ATCH, OPI, and the locks on Lou, and then Wolf kind of put a dent in that with those few stops, unfortunately. So I was frustrated to see that one by the end of the day, but it is what it is. I did have a friend asking to see the executions on it, so maybe I'll make this a bit bigger. 1 second, I'll resize it in a minute. I am just going to send him some pictures. And then this one. There we go. Let me see. Okay. So, looks like I got... Okay, Chris, Jeff, Sam, Bass Hunter. So yeah, those were the trades from today. Open still looking like it's holding up, hasn't completely died yet. Upper end of its daily range. GoPro did top out at those looking left daily levels, over under, not exactly. But I do like the little rest day today if it wants to get going. Holding up pretty nicely. Air, this one here is holding up rather nicely. After that big plunge down to $1, it's held these 110s the last few days. And you can see on the daily, the wicks getting bought up. So each of these weak opens getting absorbed, weak opens, bought up into close. So I think I will keep this one on watch for it's not really a backside bounce, because I think like a first green day could lead to a breakout on something like this. 180s-ish being that high, but all the volume here is traded right here. So if this starts to build, 140s was that key level we identified throughout these last couple days. So if this starts to build 140s, I don't hate that for higher. ATCH and OPI. OPI not as much, because it has pulled back to some resistance levels, but ATCH, I don't feel has pulled back as much. If this loses 80s, I think it could get hit. If this starts to build back ones, I think it could be like a T+1 style squeezer. So I will need to see it break out of today's range because it's sideways here. You can see all the congestion, the volume profile here. It needs to break out of this. I took advantage of that range now, and now I need to wait for it to pick its direction. But OPI, you can see from the open, pulled back like 40 cents on a dollar name. That's plenty. So I don't have a total bias on that tomorrow. Same kind of thing I said on air. If this were to fade for another day, I'd like a backside bounce on it. But I don't really have a play for that one tomorrow. Atch, it did have a first red day. But with this gap and where the volume profile is, I think it could see lower. But we got to see where it's going to break. This one here, where's this trading? Below the VWAP. No one's really in trouble there. Any tickers you guys are watching? I'm just going to hit my scans here quickly. Well, we'll see how quickly. And if I find anything else. So far on what I've been watching, it's looking like a lower volume day tomorrow on my end. Not trading so much. RS ready to break out. SLNH kind of running. Not super extended. What did Turb end up doing today? Keep it on watch. Could be like a T+1 candidate. But nothing for tomorrow. Voxel looks like a percent gainer. Unwound by close. MTVC says Bass Hunter. MTVM. Are you lying to me? MTCV? MCTV? MVTC? I don't know. M? What's the ticker? M. What is it? On the edge of my seat. What else we got here? HC. A little bit of a runner. Not quite there yet. Flux, same kind of thing where it's starting to run, but it's just not there yet. MTVA. Oh yeah, I briefly touched on that one. It's just consolidating under the volume from day one. It's not holding up. Where if like the lows of today was 130s and the top was 150s, I think it'd be a bit easier to squeeze. But I think it'd need to get back over 150s before I got interested. I know you were watching it for a while. Navini is building again. Is it? Yeah, I don't have a position on it anymore. It is coming back. And you know what? This pullback would have stopped everybody out. I stopped out right here as it broke my trend line. And I think I was actually green on it. Because I had bought here when it pulled back and I was risking... I think I bought like 54, risking 50. And then I sold part of it into 70s and made 1R on it. And then reaccumulated dips, and just kept moving my risk up to these prior dip lows. So I think I stopped out flat on the balance, and I was fairly sized. But yeah, that's worth a look. Thank you for mentioning it. It's just got to get over these highs. Like, it keeps stuffing. But good luck. Thank you for that. What else? AEI kind of broke out today, but it doesn't look super liquid. Let's see what else I got. Orbs continues to fizzle. SNTG continues to fizzle. Just looking at recent percent gainers. And that wolf pisses me off. And I probably would have re-hit it is the thing. I just wasn't around for it. But like this sort of tightness before it breaks low a day. Short here, 320, risking 330. Risk 10 cents and get... pisses me off. That's the thing. You can be green on the day. I can make a bunch of money and trade my other stuff well. And it's stuff like Air yesterday not getting covers at $1 and only getting covers at $1.10. That's what pissed me off more than making a killing on it during the day. And then I trade OPI well, I trade Atch well, but screwing up Wolf, that's what pisses me off. Such a freaking mental game, this trading. Drives me nuts. GoPro's looking alright. It's hitting my breakout scans, so that's good. That means it's fitting criteria. MTVA keeps popping up for liquidity traps, but discretionarily it just doesn't look that good right now until it's 150s. So far I'm getting kind of deep into these scans and I'm not excited, which is good. We had nice trades on Monday. We had nice trades today. And I was on the broadcast this morning with Investors Underground. If I pull up the Twitter, you guys can watch it back. I think I was the last one to go, I believe. Yeah. That's not it. Where is it? Where's the link to the broadcast? Where the hell? There we go. Jeez. IU posted a lot today. Can I put it in there? Or did I put it right here? There we go. That's the link to the Investors Underground page. It's a 13-minute video. I come on... Where? I come on around 9:15. So if you guys want to fast forward to 9:15, I went over exactly what I was looking for. I had 3 main watches, Atch, OPI, and Wolf. Those are the same main watches from the watch list yesterday. But I had a bit more information here. Obviously, we do that broadcast at 8:45. So it was 45 minutes before market open. So I had a bit more information and a bit more stuff to add. But they played out really well. So if you guys were on there, I think you likely nailed it. Excuse me. Okay, last scan here. fairly boring. Hour is starting to fail to follow through. Looks like it wants to lose 3. Just no volume. That's the thing with the way that I trade, like my style, is I'm looking at recent runners, and a lot of times with small caps is once that move has come and gone, for most of them, I don't have a statistic on it, but I'd want to say probably in the 80 percentile that they just fizzle out and lose volume. And when there's no volume, there's not really much range because there's not enough traders' emotion to take advantage of for wild moves. So when names do have volume that sticks around, that's why I like to keep them on watch. And you see like something like Air, like it's only trading 20 million shares today. But something like Hour was a recent runner, and it starts trading 250,000 shares today. So I'm not watching Hour, but you can watch stuff like GoPro is trading 12, 13 million shares. Wolf, 140 million shares. Navini, only 2 million shares, but I imagine if it starts to break, maybe something like this starts to come in. Turb was wild. Trading is 90% mental. Amen. BLNE was a sympathy trade to open. Was it? Beeline holding. Interesting. Yeah, thanks for putting Navini back on my watch. I think a price alert up in the 70 cents or something I have, but I didn't have it on watch. So I will keep Air on watch. I like that it's held wicks the last couple days. If it loses 110s, it probably gets hit. But if it starts to build back 140s plus, could be like a T+1 style trade. GoPro, I'll keep this one on watch now that we've had that weak day. See if it wants to re-break through those 240s. I think it would need Open's participation, get Open back 10 plus, and then I think GoPro might be able to get going. If Open continues to fizzle, then GoPro I think probably pulls back. At least I wouldn't have as much confidence and conviction in the long idea. Wolf, I'd dip by a panic if it panicked enough. We got this multi-day runner. Really good panic there today. Pulls back, volume speeds up. You get like 3 minutes to execute a trade. It bounces 240s to 260s. I mean, a 10% bounce, not bad. Looked like it wanted to roll over some here. But if you get another panic like that tomorrow, could get a bounce. We'll see. Atch, I don't hate this. Just waiting for it to break out of one way of this channel. 1 plus or sub 80. I'd prefer sub 80 personally, because then it would fade for another day, and then I'd probably get, so I would get a failed fall through Wednesday trade, and then on Thursday I could get a possible backside bounce trade. So personally I would prefer it to fade off tomorrow, but we will see. OPI, same kind of thing as Wolf. It's had most of its range, so only play in it for me right now is a panic. You do have the Fed meeting tomorrow, which could affect this with interest rates. Keep that in mind. MTVA, I'd need to see this 150s plus to get interested for a squeeze. Turb, just a percent gainer. I think CODX I'll throw on there with Turb, just to keep eyes on percent gainers. PTMNM not breaking down. Low volume on watch if volume comes in over 9. PTNM. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. It's just too illiquid for me. Like I said it the other day, I'm just trying to be a lot more picky and just size into the ones that are good A-grade setups, and just leave these kinds of things alone. Could work, or it could just end in the same candle. So I'd rather avoid that one personally. in the weeds on your scans. Just feels like could have some swing shorts. Could get squeezed. Yeah, I just don't think it's an A grade quality setup, and I'm just trying to stick to those right now. Yeah, once you start getting to page 9 and 10 of a scan instead of 2 and 3, you're stretching it. So watches into tomorrow isn't anything that's like, this is the one. I'm kind of waiting for levels to prove, like Air 140, GoPro 240s, Wolf down to 190s, OPI down to 60s, Atch if it loses that channel. They're all like contingency ideas that don't really need to set up tomorrow. So it's just recent runners that are still holding up near their highs. It's basically all I'm watching tomorrow. And if I don't have to trade, I don't have to trade. Might as well look at what Kyle's watching. Sometimes we overlap. Yep, he said same thing on Atch and OPI. First red days today. Turb keeping on watch, gets a percent gainer. Then he's just talking about swings and stuff. So we're on the same page there. Yep. Thanks for helping. You betcha. I have fun doing these. It's not all about you guys, despite what you think. It's not all about you, I don't mind doing this. It helps me collect my thoughts. Sometimes I go back and watch these videos. If I get a bit scatterbrained or something in the morning, I'm like, okay, what was I watching? Like, helps me zone in and focus. I trade a lot better when I'm doing these videos consistently than if I take like a couple days off, get busy with work or something, then I'm busy with work, so I'm not as focused on trading number one, but I'm also not doing all my review and stuff every evening like I do with this, so it helps doing this kind of stuff. But I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Just watching recent runners, the stuff I've traded yesterday and today, and looking for those key levels to start to shape up. So I will wrap it up there. I hope scan was a little bit smoother this evening. I changed some of the settings, did some Googling last night after I got off, and changed some settings that hopefully make it run a bit smoother, not so laggy and choppy. I didn't get any alerts on my end, so hopefully it was all right. Okay, way better. Perfect. Sounds good. The settings worked. Hopefully they stay that way. Yeah. Yeah, I was getting those messages like as I was streaming yesterday, and it was bitrate issues, and stream quality would go from excellent to good or excellent to poor, and I was like, what the heck? And I don't touch it. Like on the days that the stream is smooth, and then the one day it was ugly, and I'm like, I didn't do anything different. So I actually went in and changed the settings, and I didn't get any alerts there today. So seems like it was good. Alrighty, have a great night, you guys, and I will see you in Investors Underground in the morning.